Hello, everybody. I'm
Hi.
Tom.
I'm Tami. Welcome.
We're with nutmegnotebook.com, and we're happy to be here with you today. And if you want to tell them what we're doing today, and then I'll read this.
Okay, great. So we're going to start out. We have an interview with a special guest who Tom will introduce in a moment to you. And after, we're going to have a cooking demo. And then after that, we will take your plant-based questions. We'll do a Q&A at the end. And I think that's pretty much everything. If you can ask questions if you'd like in the chat feed, just preface those with 4 question marks.
I should do those to them. I need to go backwards.
And
right?
end with a question with 4 question marks. That just helps them pop out to Tom so that he can see them. He'll be moderating. If you're new to our channel, this is where we share with you all about our whole food plant-based lifestyle. And we have a blog as well that's also named Nutmeg Notebook. And we also have an Amazon Live channel. So you can check us out.
Which is also called
Nutmeg Notebook. We're on Instagram, Facebook, you name it, we're there.
Okay.
Except for TikTok. I'm not really active on TikTok. So anyway, Tom, if you'd like to introduce our guest.
I'm going to, if you'll forgive me, I'm going to need to read. And I don't have my reading glasses on. Did you see where they got to? Here they are.
Wow, it's a sign of old age, darling. There you go.
No, these are just, I can see you better. That's what's important.
Oh, that's really important.
Okay. All right. So our guest today from the JOI, JOI plant milk company, and the web address is add JOI. Nice play on words because you can add joy to your life by going to addjoi.com. And if you put a / and a nutmeg behind that, then you'll be entering through the Nutmeg Notebook door. We would certainly appreciate that. But Toni Jiménez is here with us today. Toni is the co-founder at JOI. After spending over a decade making homemade almond milk, he believed there had to be a better way for the world to drink real plant-based milks, not the boxed stuff that we used to buy a lot of. He met his co-founders in San Francisco at an MBA in Design Strategy program at the California College of Arts. I think we're talking about ECDOR. There they discovered a shared passion for sustainability, health, and wellness, and delicious food, which ultimately gave birth to JOI. Just one ingredient is what that stands for, and endless possibilities. Toni is a vegan, father of 5, and has spent most of his career in the technology and venture capital industries. Toni is passionate about sharing how a plant-based lifestyle changed his life and saved him from a certain death sentence. So, boy, that sounds a little drama there, Toni. So, Toni, welcome. If you let us know you're here.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
It's our pleasure.
Here you are. Okay.
There we are, side by side. So, why did you go vegan?
So it's mainly health driven, and that as I'm sure many of your audience knows, once you kind of go vegan, you start discovering all the other reasons why you went vegan. But for me, primarily, it was initially health. I had a doctor's appointment, and he told me I was, he was going to have to put me on statins for my cholesterol, that essentially I was becoming a diabetic and that my blood pressure was through the roof. So, I wasn't very old at the time. It was only a few years ago. And that was kind of a pretty sobering moment for me. And I knew that, I just wasn't kind of pursuing the lifestyle that I should be. In addition to that, my entire family has been riddled with cardiovascular disease on both sides, my maternal and paternal side as well. So kind of knowing that all the men in my family before me have experienced significant cardiovascular disease, I said, I want to take a different path. I don't want to have to rely on genes for this. And so I took control by kind of doing the research and realized that a whole food plant-based diet is the best way that I can live my life. So that's really what got me to where I am today.
That's fantastic. And that is, your story is very similar because a lot of us have been led down this path because of health concerns, as well as, like I was looking at what was happening with my parents and thought, wow, I don't want that to be my destiny. So did you already have children that were following the standard American diet when you transitioned?
Yes. Yeah, we did. We did.
How tough was that to get them on board?
It's we take kind of a lead by acting in the way that you want them to follow your suit. So we're not too forceful, and they kind of see how it's impacted our lives and how beneficial it is, and so we want to educate them with seeing by action.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I mean, I know your sister Christine is also vegan.
Yeah,
so that's helpful when you get together for family events.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's like safety in numbers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm no longer by myself.
That's great. Well, we love your products. We've been using the JOI Almond Base for a long time now, and we love it. And I was so thrilled to see that you came out with the oat base because it's lower in fat, which is really a concern for me, just because I'm hypothyroid. I gain weight just looking at food. And so I was making the almond, I would just make it, a little bit weaker for me,
right.
Because I had the control to do that, and I could do that. And I love the flavor of the oat powder when I, mix it with water, when I use it in recipes. In fact, I was telling Tony before we started that I just demonstrated a brand new salad dressing for a vegan Caesar on our Amazon Live. And I use the oat milk powder, and I love it because I can just take the powder and I can put it in my blender with the appropriate amount of water, and voila, I don't even have to mix it up ahead of time. And in my, some of my creamy soups that I make with an immersion blender, I do the same thing. I just put the oat powder in, put the appropriate amount of water, and use my immersion blender. It couldn't be easier. And, we're not running out of milk either. It used to be like, oh man, we're going to have to go to the grocery store because, we're out of plant milk. And that isn't a problem now, because like the JOI almond we get in the great big bucket, which lasts for months and months and months. And so it just makes cooking so much easier. So can you talk to us about the oat powder, the oat milk base? Because a couple of people, when I also make a vegan ranch dressing and I use this, and a couple people wrote to me and they said, well, why can't I just put oats in the blender and use rolled oats instead?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I was like, well, I don't think you're going to get the same consistency, because this is like super, super fine. It's even more fine than oat flour that you can buy. So can you talk to us about the process?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, in the same way that we kind of arrived at making the original JOI product, which is what we call a base, and we're doing the almond and the cashew. One of our big concerns was always the stuff that's in the box stuff. It's filled with additives, preservatives, gums, binders, things that our guts don't like to have to process. So much the same way we felt about oat milk, and oat milk has exploded in the last couple of years, but we consistently saw the same recipe on all the oat milk boxed options, and primarily driven by rapeseed oil or canola oil. So we decided that we needed to make a better option, and we arrived at this powdered version. So essentially, like you said, this is a very finely milled oat solution. The reason why this is different from oat flour is because if you take oats and you throw them in a blender, and you essentially, put it through a cheesecloth to make your oat milk, you're going to get a very sort of gummy, very high and starchy sort of product, especially if you let it sit for more than 15 minutes. It becomes very gluey. So it's, you essentially arrive at your run-of-the-mill oatmeal. So we kind of did some R&D and figured out that there was a process that we can kind of make this ready so that at the introduction of water, you have a beautiful sort of creamy type milk that isn't gluey or kind of gives you these weird sort of aftertastes as well. and doesn't start kind of changing after you've introduced the water to it. So this is our latest version to the JOI family.
So it's not cooked or heated up or anything like that. So it still is retaining all of its natural nutrients. I think that's a concern for some people. They want to make sure, like, you know, does it still have all the nutritional value and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so the nutritional value, I mean, you can see at the back, there is absolutely, you know, no added ingredients.
Right.
We, like, you know, on our website, we kind of talk about what we do as it's called the enzymatic process. An enzymatic process is just a kind of a fancy word for saying that the oats are heated and then cooled down, and then that allows us to reconstitute it in a way that it doesn't end up with this gluey end result. But I mean, we're not changing anything other than achieving this really finely milled process that allows you to achieve a beautiful milk.
Okay, great. Tom, you got another question?
Yeah, one of our viewers with us today is Drina Burton, a plant-based cookbook author up in Canada. And so, of course, sourcing ingredients is important to her. I don't know if you have your kind kitchen towel right over there.
I
from
do,
Drina.
from Drina.
And she was recently a guest here on this show.
Okay.
But she's wondering about getting the oat milk in Canada. Have you stepped into the neighboring international shipping world yet?
Yes, we love our neighbors up north, and we have a great partner in Switch Grocer. So if you go to Switch Grocer in Canada, on their website, they're actually distributing for us right now in Canada. So you can access our product there. We're also looking to activate Amazon out in Canada as well. And speaking to a few other partners and distributors up there. You know, Canadians love the product, and we're looking for all sorts of different ways to start getting our product up there as well.
Okay, when you get to that, please be sure to let us know. We'll add it to our Canada Amazon page. We have
Absolutely.
a page in Canada as well.
Awesome.
So we'll make sure we get it on there for you.
And we'll spread the word. We'll tell people, because
Yeah.
we have a lot of followers from Canada. So
Fantastic.
that would be good.
Okay. What else do you have, Tami?
Well, I think that Tony's going to do a demo for us. You're going to show us how easy it is to make the oat milk. And I can tell you, I've made it, you know, in a glass, and it tastes delicious, and it doesn't have it has nothing added to it, you guys. So there's no sweetener added to it, and it tastes great. And I use this little, my little Aero Latte little blender, you know, because I can just put this right in my glass. I don't have to dirty the blender with it either, which is really nice.
Did I understand that you're working on putting one of these in your lineup on the site?
That's exactly right. Yeah. I'm a big fan of those. But what I'm doing is so I love using the whisk, and I have one as well, but I just wanted to, so I have a NutriBullet, but you don't need to blend this. I'm just showing it. If you have kind of like a protein powder shaker, you can just use the casing of it, shake it up a little bit. And that's really all you need to do. So it dissolves in water really, really easily. And that's it. It just takes a few shakes, and voila, you don't need to turn on the actual blender, but as you can see, it's really milky. It's got a beautiful color. So
I'm thinking hot chocolate, you know, it's fall and the temperatures are dropping. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to make like the best hot chocolate, because oats themselves are a little bit sweet.
Yep.
And so I think, oh my gosh, you wouldn't need as much sweetener with it, because it's already.
That's exactly right.
I think there's a new Nutmeg Notebook recipe coming.
I know, hot chocolate. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, I know.
How about like to go camping, or just when you're traveling? Because, you know, a difficult thing sometimes is to find plant milk, you know, in a small quantity when you're traveling. And so, but maybe you want to make oats in your, you know, hotel room or your Airbnb, you know, but you don't want to go buy a whole carton of oat milk. Hey, hello, this is even easier to take with you.
Would it be wrong of me to put oat milk on my oatmeal? Isn't that doubling down?
Well, you could, why not? I mean, because oats are so good for lowering LDL cholesterol as well. That's why we try to eat a lot of oat groats, and Tom eats oats every day. So,
Yep.
and can you talk about the packaging as
Sure.
well?
Yeah, and you mentioned something about kind of making this more accessible and easily readily available for on-the-go purposes. And so we're going to introduce single-serve sachets. They're kind of in the pipeline right now. We'll have them ready to go soon. But to your point about camping, we just brought on a really exciting partner in Marcus Lemonis. He's known as the Prophet on CNBC's the hit show The Prophet. He's the CEO of Camping World, and so we're talking to him about doing a big partnership across camping and sort of serving the needs of people that are active in the outdoors.
Well, that's very exciting.
You're also getting requests from commercial food producers for a healthy ingredient for a third-party food production, right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
There was some blurb somewhere that you were also getting requests from other companies that are looking for healthy ingredients to include in their products.
Yes, that's absolutely. So that's part of our business as well. So we supply our products to other brands that use our product as an ingredient within their formula or within their recipe. That's exactly right.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. No, so to your question about the packaging, we're very, very keenly focused on the sustainability. And so one of the reasons we decided on this packaging, and this is version 1, I mean, we just launched oat about a month ago. We felt really strongly about going into a compostable path. And so this packaging is 100% fully compostable. That said, we kind of, it's version 1. So we've been taking feedback from our customers and looking to improve it. And I'm excited to share we're actually going to come out with some new packaging across our entire product line. This will remain compostable, but our nut bases will actually transition to glass. And we're going to do a complete brand refresh that we think is really exciting, really animated, and kind of suits our brand really nicely.
Well, that'll be nice because we can reuse the glass containers in our kitchens.
Well, and Tami does love to collect those, don't we? I've got a full cupboard full of them down here.
Well, I'm not going to toss them. That you can use them for so many things.
She does a good job of repurposing them. All of these dressings and sauces and stuff go into them.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
We got a couple of questions about since you're kind of talking about production. Lynn is asking, will JOI be adding more to the plant milk family, like a soy product in the future?
Yeah, we're really excited about the future of our company. We have, one of the things that gets us most excited is about all of these products that we want to start incorporating. That said, we're trying to kind of taper our growth and try to be as focused as we can. So we're working. I can confidently tell you that we're working on quite a few new products that we're really excited about. Both in powder type formats as well as bases that are functional, that adaptogenic, that are high in protein, so on and so forth. Kind of, of course, continuing on with the vision of the company of clean label, transparent, whole food, plant-based type products. So yeah, we have quite a few new products that we're really excited about that will be coming out over the next 6 to 12 months.
I would be real excited about this soy too, because, we have our grandchildren are 5 and under. And so, their parents really like them they're plant-based also. And so they like them to have the soy milk, because it has more fat in it. They're getting more calories and of course, all the nutritional benefits of it. So I would be really excited for a very clean soy milk. That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
So speaking of soy milk, I'm a tea drinker now. I used to drink coffee. I made the transition just to reduce my caffeine intake and get better, healthier sleep at nighttime. That's a whole nother conversation. But I remember when I was a coffee drinker, there was this endless quest for the perfect coffee creamer.
Right.
And Wildwood finally came out with one that was it was a soy base, but full of all kinds of other gelatinous emulsifier oils, suspension
Carrageenan,
ingredients,
yeah.
whatever. Who knew? It was a chemistry factory in there. Tasted good, but it was a chemistry factor. And then it was always running out of stock at Whole Foods. And so then we would be without, and nothing compared. So for those people that are coffee drinkers that are looking for a healthy creamer, that quest is unfulfilled in the marketplace. So,
But they
so
have one.
this question is coming from Mary. Could this be used as a coffee creamer? Would it dissolve totally?
Absolutely. So my wife's been dropping it into her own coffee and just kind of stirring it in, and especially when it's hot coffee, it dissolves beautifully in it, and it's a wonderful creamer. It's really all you need. You don't need anything else.
Or are they working on a
No,
dedicated?
they do have a creamer. You have a creamer as well.
Yes, we do. We let's see. Might actually have
It's a
one.
mix of a couple of
Yeah,
nuts.
sorry.
It's great. Good questions, you guys.
So, this is our creamer.
There we go.
This is a blend of a couple of ingredients, because we did this in partnership with some baristas that we work with. And so we put this to the test and kind of had quite a few baristas kind of just put it through their own requirements. And this met, great frothiness, taste, emulsification within the coffee, you name it, all the kind of characteristics that a barista looks into a creamer to really perform well. And we spent close to a year kind of coming up with this formula. And so in addition to cashew, hazelnut, and oat, it has kind of essentially a pinch of pea protein with a little bit of salt. And it's really been perfected just for coffee.
Fantastic. So there you go, you guys. Give it a try.
Okay, a follow-up question or a follow-up comment from Drina up in Canada. Drina says, thank you for the reply about Switch Grocer. She says, I'll mention that quote unquote vegan supply would likely love to carry it. Vegan Supply, is that another distributor in Canada?
I will definitely make a note of that.
Okay, so I think she's tipping us off on that.
Thank
And she gave us
you.
a nice little Canadian flag after that in the
Thank you, Trina.
comments. Okay. All right. Well, let's make that smoothie. I
Okay,
think.
great.
Sure. So I basically already made some oat milk. So I have some frozen fruit here. I am also going to add in a little bit of our cashew. I like to actually keep my cashew nut base in the refrigerator, and I do that just because it solidifies it and it makes it really easy to scoop. And
That's such a good tip.
Oh, so you don't get the oil separation.
I didn't think
there's
to do that.
zero oil separation here.
What about the almond base for that?
The same. It's exactly the same.
Oh, that is such a
Because I always
good
have to
tip.
give the little tub a stir before I make my almond milk. I have to give the little tub a
Right.
stir with a knife.
Yeah.
Like when you first buy peanut butter and you have to mix it.
Yep.
So that's a good
Oh,
idea.
that is a very good
And then the
tip. Thank
scoop would
you.
clean up better, easier too. The
Yeah,
scoop will
yeah.
it'll be less gooey.
Yeah. No. So this is just, I put in a little bit of cashew just because I like the extra creaminess. I'm gonna bring in a little helper here just to help me.
Hi. Hi,
It's
everybody.
Sunday night at the house, so
Nice.
so we're making a smoothie here. So it's gonna be a little loud, but
Yeah, Zoom's gonna
Zoom
block
quiet,
out the
yeah.
sound.
Zoom makes it quiet.
I
for
wonder
us.
what fruits he had in there.
He had some frozen, looked like strawberries, bananas, some kind
yep,
of.
this is strawberries, bananas, and blueberries.
You taste it.
Nice.
Okay.
And that was our youngest Inez, who's 5 years old.
Aw. You have a
And
beautiful
this is one of our
family.
twins, who's 12, is Ellie.
Hi, Allie. You taste it for us and tell us what you think.
It's really good.
Yeah, it looks yummy.
It's a family affair here with this.
Hey, I say go for it. That looks delicious.
And this is my wife, Melissa.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You too. Thanks
You
for
have a
having
beautiful
me
family.
on. Oh, thank you.
That's so fun. Yeah, well, what I love about it is that you can just put it in the blender and you know, you don't even have to pre-mix it if you don't want to. And you can use
Exactly.
it in so many different ways. So, and great idea to have a little bit of the cashew and a little bit of the oat together. Nice combo there.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the convenience of it. It's just so nice, especially I think like through the pandemic, because we've really limited, you know, our trips to the grocery store. And it used to be the almond milk that we would always run out of. And then, you know, that'd be the catalyst to like, oh, we got to go to the store, you know, but
Right.
now because we buy it in the great big bucket, I don't have to worry about it.
I want to
Yeah,
remind
no, and
everybody, if you go
when
venturing off to the JOI website, which the link is down in the show notes, take note underneath the where there's two links there. One takes you directly to the oat milk page. If you want to just go and grab that and get straight to it, then I gave you an oat milk link. But just above that is the regular link to the Total Joy Add JOI website, where you can see the almond milk and the cashew milk, and comes in organic versions and others not organic versions at different price points. Whatever you wind up wanting to acquire in there, make sure you use the code. Is it nutmeg? It's just straight up nutmeg, and that will give you 10% off of the price listed on the site. So Tony and the folks at JOI arranged that for you through us to help you with as a loyalty thank you for your purchases. So
Oh, and another thing, this is the oat is organic and it is gluten-free.
Yep.
So for those that, you know, if that's an important thing for you.
and it makes ranch dressing possible. That's the best thing.
And Caesar,
And Caesar dressing possible.
really delicious. Super
Yeah.
delicious. Do we have any other questions, Tom?
Let me check here. Let's see. This is asking, I'd like to know people's favorites for the oat milk. I'm stuck on almond and cashew. So.
Well, one thing that I really like about the oat is that it is lower in fat. And so if you're in weight loss mode, or you gain weight very easily, or you stick to a very low fat diet because of cardiovascular disease or whatever, then, you know, the oat milk might be a really good choice for you. But it's equally as satisfying and delicious as the other milks. It has just it has a different flavor because it tastes
Right.
like oats
It's more oaty and not nutty. Yeah.
instead of nuts. But I happen to really like that flavor. So this works really well for me. So you just have to try it and see, because we all have different personal taste preferences. So I think you just have to try them and see, you know, what appeals to you the most. Tom really, really likes the almond milk, and he likes to make it richer. And the nice thing about it is you can make it richer or you can make it less
Yeah,
rich.
I do. I kind of slice that down the middle. You know, your range on your instructions is 1 to 2 tablespoons per cup, I think. And I make 4 cups at a time. No, that's not right. I use 4 cups of water, and I use 6 tablespoons of almond base.
Yeah.
So you can use up to 8 and make it even thicker. So I kind of go 3/4 of the way,
Yeah.
but not all the way to maximum. And that gives me a nice, rich, creamy, but not wasting product kind of blend.
Right.
We use that little 2 tablespoon scooper, ice cream scooper, nice cream
Yep.
scooper. And because the little clicker on there knocks out the almond base.
Yeah.
So 3 scoops of that level in 4 cups of water out of, cold water out of the filtered cold fridge dispenser here into our blender, 4 cups and 3 scoops of that. That's,
Yeah, right there.
yeah,
Are you
that guy.
saying-
Yeah, three of those in 4 cups is my recipe. So,
Awesome. Yeah, it's a great tip.
There was a question here. You see this on the grocery store shelf, and we've always avoided them. You see vanilla flavor, you see chocolate flavor, you see almond milks, oat milks in flavors.
Yep.
And so that's kind of moving away from that just one ingredient conversation, but is there some of that kind of thing on the horizon in terms of flavors?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's kind of both symbolic and like, I guess, figurative, but also literal. We wanted to start with kind of a base foundation with our products and come at you with the simplest format and in the most whole sort of non-processed plant-based glory that our products come in. And soon we're going to start adding, you know, like Tami mentioned before, hot chocolate. It's a no-brainer. You know, introducing cacao, like, you know, high quality chocolate ingredient to our oat milk is something that we're kind of on path for. Yeah, and we recognize our customers want flavor. They, you know, they want to have their treat at the end of the week or at the end of the day. And we're going to be developing some stuff for them soon.
And if
Okay.
you want to have it be a vanilla, you could add a little bit of vanilla powder to it yourself and create that, or a little bit of vanilla and cinnamon if you want to do that, you know, and run that through the blender when you're mixing it up. And that would give you a little bit of flavor as well.
Tiffany wants to know if you guys are going on Shark Tank. Tiffany's one of our moderators, or you may not be able to say if you are, it might be a secret.
You know, funny enough, Shark Tank approached us, and we went through the whole process, and honestly, it was just so complicated. And they make you sign your life away, and you know, your first and second born, and it was just crazy to us. So we passed on the opportunity ultimately, just because, I mean, the legal documents that we had to sign were just crazy.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's an incredible opportunity for any brand that does it, because the marketing you get is amazing. That is undeniable. And I think it's just, you know, it's up to each brand to kind of decide whether it's the right path for them or not. And, you know, ultimately we decided it wasn't the right time for us.
Okay. Well, it was very flattering to get invited.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. No.
Yeah, we were involved with the folks at Supercube, and they got invited, and they went, and they got, is it Laura's
Lori.
golden ticket. I mean, they didn't, there wasn't even negotiation. She said, fine, I'll sign you up. What they were asking for. She just said, this is easy. Yes. But,
awesome.
you know, we had been working with them on our website and on this YouTube channel, and had been, you know, helping folks find them at a pretty good clip. And then so the plant community, we kind of had them to ourselves. And then the rest of the world found out about them, and the inventory got wiped out. And so anyway, it took some weeks of recovery. We kept exchanging emails, and you know, we were letting our folks know that, okay, yeah, the standard American diet world is out of our way now. Production has caught up to demand, so we can get back on track. But you know, you've already got 2 or 3 bosses in your organization, and that adds another layer of management on top of that. So yeah, that would be a scary thing to do. The question from Vegana: should this powder be refrigerated? One of the Amazon reviews says that it could go rancid if it is left to sit out.
Yeah, so you do not have to refrigerate our product. Each of the products, depending on whether it's cashew, almond, or oat. So for instance, the almond has a shelf life of up to 18 months. We put the expiration date on the packaging. So you'll know when that expiration date arrives, but you do not require refrigeration. I certainly offer it as a tip, just because it kind of, the consistency gets a bit thicker, and it's easier to sort of manipulate and work with. And it also eliminates all oil separation. So yeah.
I love that.
Okay, I'm just scanning for questions here. Okay. All right, I'm going back a ways here, so I think we're kind of caught up.
And if people want it to be sweet, they can add dates, or they could add, you know, a little bit of date sugar or maple syrup or date syrup or whatever. If you want it to have be sweeter, you could do that.
Okay.
But I find the oat milk tastes more sweet to me. But maybe that's because I don't eat sugar, but it has a natural kind of sweetness.
You're absolutely
to it.
right. It is naturally sweet, and it's there's no need for any sweetness added to the oat. That's for sure.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But it's really good in recipes as
Yeah.
well. Now I'm anxious for you to try it over your morning oats and see what you think.
Oh, you've got,
I've got some made in there for you. Yeah.
I'll try that in the morning. So,
Yeah. Be
yeah,
great.
my morning routine is a bowl, it's a half a cup of oats and a banana, blueberries, hemp seed, chia seed, and flaxseed is my morning regimen for my morning oats and berries. So supposedly I'm getting all kinds of good stuff in that mix.
You are.
So,
It's a good breakfast.
and then I used to dump, Whole Foods Almond 365 unsweetened, unflavored almond milk on it, but it's still got a pretty long ingredient list. It was like the least worst that we could find.
Yeah.
But now I just use JOI and don't have to worry about it.
That's right.
So I'm gonna have to go
It's
get
easy.
something to drink. Well, we told Tony we'd keep him about a half an hour. We've actually spent it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and we're gonna stay here, folks, and do
Q&A.
any Q&A you have. So I'll let Tami sign up with Tony because I gotta go.
Okay. Bye, honey. Well, thank you so much, Tony. This
Thank
was
you so
really
much, Tami.
You're welcome. This was informative, and we learned the trick about putting the nut base in the refrigerator. So that is just like going to be super helpful. I love that. So see, we learn something new every time. It's great. So when you get some new products, we'd love to have you come back and share the new products. And we appreciate you introducing us to your beautiful family.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to see what the future holds for JOI.
Thank you so much. Really a pleasure to be on your show. Really appreciate
Thanks.
it.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody. So thanks for the wonderful questions that you guys asked of Tony. Him and his sister they're like the nicest people. We've really enjoyed working with them. They really care about their products and about the people who are using their products. And, their heart is in the right place because, they're making products that they feed to their families and their children, and they want to make sure that they're top quality products, and that's what we want too. So it's a joy, all puns intended, to be able to work with a really nice family business like that.
Okay, a couple things. Chris, I did not see your question about Australia before we let Tony go, but we can.
Oh, or they can write to him too. If they go to the JOI website,
Yeah, just,
you can do the contact us.
yeah, and it'll come up
and
at
send
info@joy.com. And that's
Yeah.
about that. And the more input they get like that, then that lets them know kind of what the demand is gonna be. And then I also wanted to come back and address another question here.
Okay, while you're looking for the question, I just want to tell people. So today we did an Amazon Live, which if you go over to the Amazon website and up in the upper left-hand corner, it says live streams. You can click on that and then you can scroll down and you can find the replay of the Amazon Live that we did. And on today's Amazon Live, I demonstrated a brand new recipe. This is for my vegan Caesar. I started to say ranch, the vegan Caesar dressing. And I used the JOI oat milk powder in this recipe. It also does have soy. So I don't even have the recipe typed up. I didn't even have it on a recipe card. I had to put it on a recipe
Yeah,
card.
and that's one of our
today.
questions. Anne's asking, where can we find the Seizure dressing recipe?
Yeah. So
Right now, you can find it on that Amazon Live. Tami verbally gives out the recipe, and that's
Yeah.
gonna be what there is.
I made it. It was after we were on for like 2 hours. It was after the 1 hour mark when I finally got around to doing that. And then I also demonstrated how to make these garlicky chickpea croutons that can go on top of the Caesar salad. So, and so these two recipes, we won't probably have time to make a video and get a blog post up for probably a couple of weeks, because we have that virtual vegan women's empowerment virtual retreat on Friday. So I'm still prepping for my presentation for that. But if you go to Amazon and watch the replay of today's video, that's where you'll get the recipe. Because I don't have time to do it any other way right now.
Okay,
There's a question.
so that answers Ann's question about where can she get the thing. Okay, the JOI website says they do not currently ship outside the US. This is for Chris Bickley. What we learned from Tony is he's distributing in Canada through a third party,
Called Switch Grocery.
Switch Grocery.
Mhm.
And then Andrina Burton was on with this, and she also gave him the name of another third party
To try vegan supply.
to check into to see if they would pick it up. So those things are, importing and exporting is quite an interesting adventure for any company. But yeah, so
Yes.
it was Switch Grocery.
Switch
Grocery
Grocery.
is where you can get it in
Mhm.
Canada.
Right.
So, and then I need to go get the Mezzaluna and the sharpening thing. We're going to do a quick demo on how to do that.
Okay, on how to sharpen.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
and then any other questions you have, you want to throw them at us pretty soon here so we catch them. So I don't think there's anything else.
Okay,
And I'm going to go ahead
great.
and grab that.
Well, we had a really fun Amazon Live, you guys. I think we showed about maybe 20 different products and talked about them. And so it's just a wonderful platform for us to do like a QVC style show and tell of things that we use that we
or
love.
HSN, is it
Or HSN.
Home Shopping Network.
Home
yeah.
Shopping Network, yeah. So, so we pick some of our favorite things and show them. And we actually did 3 recipes today, but you ate all of those, so I don't have them to show people. We could show them that tray that we didn't get cooked yet.
I'll go get the tray.
We didn't get lunch because we were busy setting up. And so we
ate our
actually,
demonstration food.
so Tom was eating some of the demonstration food when we went live this afternoon. So the other thing that we showed how to
I made
make.
these. I
Oh,
made these.
careful.
Aren't these beautiful? I made these. These are mine. I'll share.
So well, they're not cooked
They're
yet.
not cooked yet, but they're beautiful now. They'll
They
be
are
even more
beautiful.
beautiful cooked.
They are
You
beautiful.
have to be careful in the air fryer. I ran the temperature down to 340 degrees.
So
for
tell
about-
them, you didn't tell them what they are.
They're waffle cut potatoes in our new
Crisp cut. Isn't that what they call
crisp cut in our new OXO. Our new
Uh-huh.
OXO mandolin.
Mandolin.
OXO mandolin. We can't get that back up. You have to just go to the Amazon. We'll show it on YouTube eventually too.
Yeah,
So,
we'll do a YouTube video on
But
those
we've got to
as
do it
well.
more in depth on Amazon.
Yeah,
So-
but we got a new mandolin, an OXO mandolin, and it works great. And it has the crisp cut feature. And Tom was just like, as soon as we opened it, he was like, I have to try this. And so we have been experimenting and learning how to air fry them. And they come out kind of like potato chips. We had a whole plate of them, but he ate them. You didn't even save any for me. He ate them all. And so they're really delicious, and they are really tasty, and they really get crisp. And so that is a fun thing. And so we'll have to make a video for that too. Brian wants to know, can you post a link to the Amazon video?
I'll put that in the show notes, yeah.
Yeah, Tom can put that in the show notes. So,
Yeah,
does
if
that?
you subscribe to our newsletter, it'll be there already.
Yeah, if you subscribe to our newsletter, if you're on our mailing list, then you would have gotten the link to it this morning. Tom sent out an email with the link for this video as well as for the Amazon live video. And, but after we get off, Tom will go in the show notes and he can put a link to it. Tom, if they go to our Amazon shop page,
It'll be down at the bottom.
it'll be at the bottom.
Yeah,
So in the show notes already is our Amazon affiliate
yeah,
page.
Jesse just did it. So follow the link that Jesse, one of our moderators, just put in there, that Amazon.com shop Nutmeg Notebook. Scroll down to the bottom, and the very first video will be the one we just did. And you can kind of like fast forward that until you see something that interests you, like the dressing recipe or whatever I was showing. So yes.
So Jesse posted a link.
Oh, Drina says she's got trouble. Somebody eats
They eat it all. What is it they
the
eat?
demo food.
Oh, the demo food. Yes, yes. We have that same problem here. In fact, when we got done, I said, don't eat anything. Let me get pictures first. And he was like, really? As he was shoveling some potatoes
Yeah.
in. I was like, yeah, let me get some photos
Yeah.
first. So yeah, that's funny, Drina. Yeah, you have a whole house full of people
Yeah.
to get into stuff.
Gina, I want to address your waffle potato air frying. It is a careful dance. We did our first batch. I ran the heat too high. I ran it at 365, and they started singeing around the edges pretty quickly. In the middle was not very done. So I brought the temperature way down to like 340. And we did it for like 10 minutes.
We flipped them.
And then I flipped them and did them for another 4 minutes. And they were crunchy. It was kind of, a French fry is like crunchy on the ends, but the inside is still soft. We kind of
It
got
was
to
kind of
that
like
point.
that.
So because we like the texture flavor of those, they're just golden potatoes.
Mhm.
And I did sprinkle some of Well Your World stardust on them for a wonderful flavor. Not too much, just a little bit
After we cooked them.
after we cooked them.
But
Yeah.
you could season
I
them a little bit
wouldn't
before.
I wouldn't put
I think
anything
it'll
on them.
might burn.
It's gonna, yeah, I wouldn't.
Might burn.
Yeah.
So we also made them in the Ninja, is it Ninja Foodie Pro air fryer, and they worked good in that too.
Yeah, on a much lower heat, because my corn,
We're tired because we've been talking
my
for a long
corn
time.
chips, I do at 365 for 375 for 8 minutes,
375,
for
yeah.
8 to 9 minutes, depending on how wet they are coming out of the package.
But these needed a lower temperature
Lot
because
lower.
they're so thin on the edges
Yeah.
that they'll burn. But they're really, really tasty. So if you're missing like potato chips, this is a really
Yeah.
good substitute, I think.
Tiffany's pitching your vegan ranch recipe on here.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Yeah, that has been a good recipe. So it's hard when she makes it, it's in the refrigerator, and then it's there. And then you
Want salad.
then you want salad. And so I had to get scientific and dose, because the inclination is to start pouring that stuff on my salad. So I did some careful measurements, and I got down to, on our great big salad that those of you that watch our channel know, we eat a pretty good size. Is it 12 ounces? It's
About
not
that, yeah.
12
It's not a
ounces
pound
of
anymore.
greens and stuff. But a third of a cup is the perfect amount of ranch dressing on the salad that's got added rice, added corn, added beans, and then the 12 ounces of greens. And so that's my perfect combination. And so I very carefully measure that out so that in that little tall jar Tami uses, I get appropriate amount of servings, and there's a full 1/3 cup at the bottom. Like there's a full serving at the bottom.
And do you remember that I eat it too?
You have your own jar. I'm talking about my jar. Don't you have a separate jar?
No, we've been
You've
dosing
been
out of the
eating my
same.
salad dressing?
Wow.
No wonder it was
How
going down.
is it your salad dressing? How is it that it's your
Because
salad
everything that's yours is mine. Isn't that how that works?
dressing, I guess. Okay, so
Yeah.
somebody said they'd signed up for the newsletter, but they don't get it. So one of two
Okay,
things.
well, a clarification. I call it the newsletter. It's our weekly announcements, and there's a recipe reminder in there, a throwback recipe, current events, what today's video is about, what summits are coming up. So it's a conglomerate of current events and revisiting older recipes, and then links to our key favorite vendors. So our announcements newsletter, whatever you want to call it.
So if you signed up and it's not coming to you, one of two things is happening. You may have entered in your email address incorrectly, and so it just bounced. Or because we're not in your contact list, it oftentimes ends up in people's junk email. So check your junk email too. And if you aren't finding it there, because one went out this morning, it would be in your junk email folder today, if we have the correct email address. But you can send an email to Tom at nutmegnotebook.com, and that way he'll have your email address, and just
I can double check and make sure you're in there.
yeah,
Easy enough to
have
do.
him look and see if you're in there. And if he doesn't find you in there, he can enter your email address in there, and we'll get you on for next week.
Tiffany says you're in trouble. You've been dipping into my ranch dressing.
Well,
So
I didn't realize that he thought it was his. I thought he understood that it was ours.
okay.
But I would be very happy to teach him how to make it though. And I think, oh, wait, there's a video. You could watch the video and then you would be able to make your own ranch dressing
Jesse
and
says,
have
that-
as much of it as you
Jesse
want.
thinks there's way too much territoriality going on here.
Well, I might have to make a double batch.
Okay.
Tiffany makes a triple batch. So I could make a double batch and then I could divide it into 2 jars. That would work. And then I'll label one
What are
as
we gonna do
Tom.
when you make the
and one
Seizure
is
now?
Tami.
It's gonna get so
You know
confusing.
what? I made a double batch today because I made one before we did the
Uh-huh. Whose salad is
Amazon
that?
Live. That's my salad. And then I
Did you
did,
show these guys?
I don't think I did yet. I'll show
And I
them.
still have to do a knife sharpening demo too.
Okay, let me show them the salad. We're really.
We're all over the place here.
Here was the
The
salad
formal
that I
part,
made.
the formal part of the program is concluded. This is whatever happens at this
Yeah,
point.
so this is the salad with the crispy garlicky chickpea croutons and the Caesar dressing. And so I made this during the Amazon Live that we did today.
Okay,
So
all right.
there you go.
Sue Wells is asking, what if you use cooked potatoes instead of the raw for the crosscut? If you watch our blog, you know that we do that with the smashed potatoes and the
Mhm.
po nachos, that the golden, I call them golden potatoes,
They're Yukon Gold.
Yukon Gold
Yeah.
potatoes, that you bake them, then you refrigerate them. There's a starch conversion that
Resistant
happens.
starch.
And then they come out and you smush them in air fry 'em and you get this most wonderful, crunchy, delicious flavor. You don't
Mhm.
really even need to put anything on them, although we do put on our chipotle nacho cheese sauce or maybe some ranch dressing now.
Mm. You
So-
could even try Caesar.
So anyway, I don't think the waffle cut where you get the see-through holes, I think the potato's just gonna mush up.
If it's already pre-baked.
Yeah, I intend to try it with a cooked one on a thicker slice where maybe I've got the ridges just for a little browning activity.
Mm.
I'm not gonna go through the see-through. I'm gonna open the blade up and make a thicker cut and see if I can get that clean swipe down and not have it just pile up in a mush like an accident. So I'm gonna try that.
Remember when we were kids growing up in Nebraska and there was that one brand of potato chips that was wavy?
Ruffles have ridges.
It wasn't the Ruffle, it was another brand because it was a local company.
Oh,
I can't remember now, but anyway.
well, I
but yeah.
remember Ruffles and Lay's.
Yeah, Ruffles did have ridges. You're
Yeah.
right. That could be fun. And
Yeah.
then air fry them
And
and have the
their thing
ridges
was
be
that they
crispy.
didn't break when you put them in the dip.
Yeah.
Okay, there was a request early on during the Q&A time for how do we sharpen our mezzaluna knife. So we have 3 things going on here. This is on our Amazon page under gadgets, and I'll show you how to use this. This is kind of like the safe way to do it. The quick way to do it, what I employ is I use what's called a steel. It's called a steel. This is the factory one that came from our block, plastic handle, stainless metal tip. This steel is from my grandfather. The metal part of this, it's probably really old. It's a very fine but very high quality, high quality steel. This wooden handle I made in wood shop in 7th grade, so I would have been about 12. So this was made 55 years ago. This handle was made
Wow.
50. If you make a thing good, well, it'll last you a lifetime.
Was
So this
Can I
sti-
ask you a question?
What?
Was this from your grandpa that had the knife sharpening? Didn't he
Yes,
have a knife
yes.
sharpening
Yeah, he used to
business?
sharpen sickle blades for the big things that cut straw for haystacks.
Oh, okay.
The tractor would go down and it had this thing that stuck out with the big teeth,
Mhm.
and it would cut the hay fields, and then a rake would come and rake it, and then another thing would come and fork it into a haystack.
Okay, so did he have like a sharpening shop, a shop where he
He-
did that, or was
he-
it in
he-
the barn?
No,
or-
yeah, he had a little barn in Emmett, Nebraska, and there was a big stone wheel, and he had a foot
Mm.
pedal, and it was a great big stone wheel like this.
Did you
so-
ever get to use it?
Yes, but we weren't supposed to.
Oh.
We weren't
Well,
supposed,
how did I know?
we weren't even supposed to go into the sickle barn because there was a lot of sharp things like
Oh, I'm
Edward
sure.
Scissorhands stuff in
I'm
there.
Sure.
So this steel I inherited from my grandfather. So it's got to be from like the 50s or something. It's got to be 70 years old. So anyway, the quick work of this on the mezzaluna is that the thing about mezzalunas is this weird shaped blade. So for Tam, this is Tammy's. She prefers the full handle mezzaluna with no, I like the ulu, she likes the mezzaluna. So at about a 20-degree angle, and you just have to, and because of this wood handle, you just kind of use the tip of this. And the magic of these is to dress them more frequently and don't let them get really dull. So, and I'm just freehanding this. This is the, I'm not a high science blade sharpener. If you go on YouTube, you can find some really fancy stuff for sharpening your kitchen knives. I know Dylan at Well Your World has a real fancy setup. A safer way to do this is to get this guy. He's got a fine, a coarse, and a ceramic for like ceramic knives on here, which is a diamond thing. I don't use that, but you can just take and cycle this through here. Just, I'm on camera. You just roll it through like this. You just very gentle pressure. There's 2 carbon steel bits on there, and you flip it the other way.
That'd probably be a safer bet for me to use something like that.
And so you're not, you know, it's just, there's just a wedge of carbon steel in there, and they put, and that's really sharp now. With just that little bit of
I trust you.
demonstration I did. I like the ulu knife, and it doesn't have that wood handle, and I can just go like this, and it looks real fancy, and it makes a cool sound, makes me feel real manly, and just this little
That's
bit.
what it's all about,
And
feeling manly.
It gives me an ego boost, and it makes excellent salad. This is really sharp now. You could shave with that.
Wow.
So anyway,
Dare ya.
that may
Dare
be
you to
more
shave with that.
demonstration and a bigger story than you asked for, but I'm going to stick to it.
Well, I thought it was interesting.
Okay.
Thank you for doing that. That was great.
All right. This guy is the free mezzaluna, not the case. This comes with your Holland bowl mill. And when you get a 15-inch bowl, $125 minimum bowl or larger from Holland bowl mill, our link is down in the show notes. Then you get this guy, no charge. This
But
guy's,
do buy the sheath. I think the sheath is well worth it.
if you're ordering a bowl, order this at the same time, so you don't have to pay shipping on it.
Right, because
Good.
with a $125 minimum order, you'll get the free mezzaluna. You also get free shipping. You also get engraving on the bottom of the bowl. So
Yeah.
you can have,
Yeah.
up to 50
Yeah,
characters.
this is not from Holland Bowl Mill. I bought this on Amazon. It's on our Amazon, one of our Amazon kitchen utensils
Yeah,
page.
yeah.
It's also in with the next to the bowls.
So if you're new to our channel, we love to make chopped salads. So that's when we talk about the Holland bowl mill bowls, we use a 15 or a 17-inch wood bowl and then the mezzaluna knife. And then we will take a salad and put a salad in there before we dress it and chop it, because it just makes it so much more flavorful.
But not with this.
But not with that, because all of the juices come out of all of the greens and whatever veggies you have in there. And it reduces the volume of it as well, makes it easier to eat. And it's just tastier. Like people tell us all the time that they didn't used to love salads. And once they started chopping them, then they started to love salads. So, and Holland Bowl Mill was out of 15-inch bowls for about 2 weeks, but they are back in stock now. And we
Yeah.
don't recommend going any smaller, because the 12-inch, unless you're doing a really tiny
We get emails that
salad.
people bought that knowing that we thought it might be small, and they come back and say, yeah, it's too small.
Yeah, it was too
Unless you're
small.
making a much smaller salad, but
Right.
that wouldn't fill us up. Gina is making a comment here, waiting for the next Holland Bowl sale, maybe Black Friday. We don't know right now. The production has been, their business is growing. We think we know why. We think we know
We
a
keep
lot.
them really busy.
A lot
The
of
plant
plant-based people
community.
are wanting to find, be chopping their salads. But there has been an inventory issue, and we did have a brief conversation with Corey about that just a couple of weeks ago, and there's not inventory right now to sustain a big sale. So we don't have a sale.
Oh, there isn't a sale. There
like-
won't be
like
a
in
sale
August,
this
September. Yeah.
for the not perfect bowls. There won't be this
There-
year.
No, the next imperfect sale most likely would be next spring for those that are
Mhm.
familiar with that.
Right.
Now, in last year, they did do something for Christmas time, or did they do something for Black
No,
Friday?
they did have a Black Friday special last year. I can't
Okay.
remember right now. I'd have to look at my notes. I can't
Okay.
remember what it
We-
was,
we
but we
will
will
be-
announce it.
Whatever is going to happen, you will find out first from us.
Yeah, they'll let us, we'll be talking to Corey
Yeah,
in October to, make a plan.
yeah, because that
and
would be a November thing, huh?
yeah, it'll be
When is
Black
Thanksgiving
Friday,
this year? Do we know that? September, October,
November.
November, is that for October? The 25th of November is a Thursday, the last full week of the month, so it'd be the 26th, 27th.
Mhm.
So the last weekend of November is a possibility, but
Yeah,
we'll have to find out. So anyway,
and it'll also depend on inventory. What
yeah,
kind
so,
of,
so Gina, yes, stay tuned and we
say what the
will,
question is and then answer it.
about when is the next sale gonna be? Is it
Oh,
gonna be on
okay.
Black Friday?
Okay,
And so we hope so, and we'll find out, and then we will be sure to let you know. Okay.
Jesse says, did somebody just hear a baby crying? I
that
think it was your chair
My chair
squeaking.
was squeaking. It made that sound.
No, we don't have any babies here.
Okay, so Jesse says the Amazon Live replay is working fine. Mike was having trouble getting on that, so hopefully that's working for him.
We had a good show on there today. We had
Yeah,
a lot of people were watching it. It was fun. And it's fun when we do like a cooking demo there. We've had a couple people tell us, they're not plant-based, but they're kind of plant curious. And so for us, it's a good way to reach out to an audience who isn't plant-based.
yeah,
And
we get some interesting questions here and there.
yeah, we do.
And some people get scared and leave. So,
And that's okay too. That's okay.
yeah, we started out with 300 and it very quickly changed to 200.
Mhm.
They're like, oh my God, those are plant-based people. We can't talk to them.
But they could still use all the products that we
Oh,
showed.
absolutely, absolutely.
So maybe we shouldn't tell them that we're plant-based at the beginning
We
of it.
don't make a big deal of it.
No,
So anyway, okay. Well, Missy, folks, I'm not seeing, here's a few question marks. Okay, that's just Tiffany and.
oh, the flowers, we didn't move the flowers
Yeah.
back.
We used that, Tami was using the Breville right before we went on air, so she didn't want the flowers to get, well, okay,
Yeah, I was afraid they would get wilty, but we'll just bring them here. Here's our flowers.
yeah.
They
This is a
are
pretty one
beautiful. This
week.
is
Look at all
so
the
beautiful.
pastel.
These were from Costco. And I always look for ones where the flowers are still like really tight, where they haven't completely opened up yet. And this was just a beautiful bouquet that they had this week. So I was excited. Gorgeous. So the flowers were here, but I was making another batch of the garlic chickpea croutons. And so we couldn't have this sitting there.
No. You're gonna eat those, right?
I'll share them with you.
Okay, so Jesse says, all right, beautiful flowers.
Yeah, they were there. Just can't
And
set them by the Breville.
Tiffany's weekend is complete now.
Yes. Well, I posted these on Facebook and Instagram for her as well.
Okay, so she knew. they
She
were-
always likes to see what flowers I buy each week.
Okay,
So I told her I always think of her when I post
all right.
about them.
Earlier here, and I may have answered this already. Well, I have two questions in a row here. Is there a discount code is there a discount code for JOI? I need one of those computerized voice boxes. Yes, there is.
It's in the show notes.
It's in the show notes and
And we have a link.
yeah, and the link is down in the show notes. So, and I've got the show notes open here, and the code is just simply nutmeg, NUTMEG. And that
All
will-
caps or,
well, I've got all caps here. It should work, and that will get you 10% off your order.
okay.
And Brian says, please post the link to the Amazon video with the recipe. I will be adding that to the show notes here. As soon as we get off the live, I got to go over to Amazon. It's rather a long URL. I'm going to take and paste that right in up at the top of our show notes on this video so you can find it.
But if you
easily.
go to the Amazon link to our page, the replay video should
It's
be
down
at the
at the bottom.
bottom of our Amazon
Yeah, so the
affiliate
universal
page.
link is amazon.com/shop/Nutmeg Notebook.
And that should be in the show notes.
Yeah. How
and-
often do you sand your Holland bowl? Mine is looking rough inside. I've sanded Tammy's cherry bowl once.
Mhm.
And you know what? And it hasn't been getting, I don't know if you
And
changed.
it probably needs to be sanded again now.
Okay.
It's pretty
That was
beat
at
up.
about 6 months or so.
I chop a lot of salads in
Yeah.
it, you guys.
And
A
and
lot
then
of salads.
and then I sanded mine.
Oh, did you sand yours?
Just did a little bit.
Really? Oh, I
Not
didn't
much.
realize that you
Well,
sanded
because the
yours.
beech wood is a softer wood, so it doesn't get as rough as the harder wood.
Mhm.
The harder wood, I think it more gets a little bit rougher, but just because of how
Could
it
be.
is.
Tom prefers the beechwood bowl for
Yeah.
chopping. I use the cherry one,
Yeah,
and I think they both work. I mean, Corey says both of them are equally.
they're both hardwoods. They're both going to be fine.
Yeah, it just depends on what you
beech
like
wood is a little bit
aesthetically.
softer wood, so it's quieter. It doesn't make as much
It's
noise.
true.
It's less percussive because it is. They're both hardwoods, but it's not. The cherry wood is a harder wood.
Mhm.
And I think that's why it wears a little bit differently than
That
the
could
softer
be.
wood.
Mhm.
The beech wood is like a little bit more forgiving with the knife blade hitting against it. But but I'm not chopping it like a hatchet. I'm kind of doing a rolling thing. I kind of go like this with that,
Yeah,
as I'm chopping around, and I spin the bowl and go like that. And it all works
you have a
out.
whole technique.
Oh, it's a very specific, scientific, very effective technique. Yes,
So
developed.
in the show notes, do you have the link to the Women's Empowerment Virtual Retreat for Friday? You have that in there? So this coming Friday,
No, I put that in the news announcements, the newsletter, but I did
Okay.
not put it
well, I
here.
also have it on Facebook. So in the newsletter that went out today, and then also on Facebook and Instagram, I have a post about the vegan women's. You don't have to be a vegan to join. You can just, if you're plant-based, that's great. But the Vegan Women's Empowerment Virtual Retreat is this coming Friday, and it's an online event. And I believe it starts like at 7:30 Pacific time, 7:30 in the morning Pacific, and it goes to the afternoon. I'm actually, I believe, the last speaker of the day. So Chef AJ is a speaker. There's Dr. Roseanne Oliveira, Plentiful Kiki will be a presenter. There's a yoga instructor. There's a whole wonderful list of women that will be speaking that day. My talk will be all about how to work smarter, not harder in the kitchen. So I will be giving cost saving tips and time saving tips and tips on how to make your kitchen more efficient so that you're not spending as much time in it. And I'll also be talking a little bit about batch cooking as well. So I'm real excited about it. I think we're giving we're going to be giving women very tangible things that they can start doing to just make them feel more empowered, more in control, and hopefully less stressed. Because let's face it, we're all stressed, right? And so I think it's going to be a really great opportunity. So it is a fee-based webinar. So go on Facebook or Instagram, Nutmeg Notebook, Facebook or Instagram. And I did provide a link on both of those for signing up if you want to attend it. If you can't do it live, we will be doing all the presentations will be live, but you will have access to the replay. And that way you can go back and rewatch things, or if you're working that day and can't watch it, you'll be able to watch it at your leisure. So, we were just invited speakers. I know a lot of people have asked a lot of questions that I didn't have the answers for because we're not actually running the event. I'm just an invited speaker. So somebody says, Lucy says, I never know what you mean by the show notes. So Lucy, if you look underneath the video, the YouTube video, there will be a little down arrow, or there's it will say show more, depends on what device you're watching on. you either click on the down arrow or, which is just like a
Little
little
tiny
V,
triangle
a
on
little V triangle, or you click on the show more. And that's where we put all the links that we're talking about. That's where we put, like when we are interviewing a guest, we put their bio in there. And and Tom always includes like our Amazon link in there and different product links as well. So that's what we're talking about for show notes.
Okay, I went back up and caught a couple of questions I missed earlier. So there was a conversation between Mike and Jesse. Yes, at the bottom of our Amazon page, next to a blue Hydro Flask bottle is Tami talking in a little window, and that is today's show. It's not really clearly labeled as to what it is, but that is the show. If you click on that, it's going to unmute it, and you can dig into that further and see the recipe.
Okay, so somebody says that it's called the show description, but some YouTubers call it the show notes. We call it the show notes.
And on my screen, it says show more. It just says show more. And you click on show more, and then the whole description is then available. Most YouTubers refer to it as show notes because it's all those notes that pertain to the show. Johnny is asking about any suggestions for eating plant perfect while traveling. We happen to have a video on that.
Yes.
Do you remember the name of it?
No. How to eat healthy anywhere, I think.
Yeah, search on YouTube, go to YouTube, search bar at the top and put in Nutmeg Notebook.
How to eat healthy anywhere, I think. And then on the blog, I have 3 different blog posts. It's a series from like a 2-week road trip that we took, and how we ate plant-based, and how we navigated that. We ate out some in restaurants, mostly we cooked in our hotel rooms or our Airbnbs, wherever we were staying. So if you go to the blog at www.nutmegnotebook.com, if you click on the recipe tab at the top, and then you'll get a drop-down menu. On that drop-down menu, click on travel cooking. And then there's 3 blog posts showing you what we took and, what we ate and how we cooked and that kind of thing. And then our video, I believe, is how to eat healthy anywhere or something like that.
Yeah.
And we show you, give you lots of ideas.
Yeah. Or if you just search Nutmeg Notebook travel meals. It'll come up.
Yeah. So it all depends, like if you're flying, driving, staying in hotels, staying in Airbnbs, as to what to do.
Did you put a Facebook post up this morning that we didn't walk today?
Yes.
Yeah, Marcy missed us. She was looking for us this morning.
I did put a Facebook post up saying we're not going to be able to walk this morning, and hope to see you this afternoon.
Yeah. We had a little too much going on this
morning. We did.
Chris Bickley says, is the Amazon video with Tami and the Vitamix? Yeah, that there is a Vitamix in that video.
Yeah, but it's actually at the bottom of the at the bottom of our Amazon page. If there's one at the top, that's not today's live video. You have to scroll to the bottom.
Oh, yeah, those are the product that say, scroll to the bottom past the idealists, they're called, all the way down to the bottom above where they say get to know us and contact us and all that is where the videos are. And then over to the right of that, it says view all my past live streams. And so you can see even more videos by clicking on that. So, okay. All right. Okay, we're talking about the answers. The question's been answered about vegan versus whole food plant-based. I think that's handled here in the chat.
Okay.
Tami, I think it's time. Johnny, please do check out on those searches on our channel. Tami put quite a bit of energy into multiple answers to your great questions. So please do explore that on our channel. I think we're pretty much ready to wrap, Tami. It's 5:16. So.
Okay, sounds good. So just for the travel, I would just say, when we are able to, we like to book hotel rooms or Airbnbs that where we're going to have access to a kitchen. And then I search before we go someplace to find out what health food store, food co-op, or grocery store or Costco will be nearby, depending on how long we're going to stay someplace, so that we can go and get groceries if we're flying. If we're driving, that we take a lot of stuff with us, but then, we need to buy fresh produce wherever we're going. And when we travel by car, then, we take an Instant Pot with us, and we have the Travel Pro that plugs into the electrical outlet in the vehicle, because we can cook potatoes in that. And in those videos, I show you or in the blog post, I show you all about how we do that. And then I also search and see, if there's places that we can go and eat and be able to get something healthy as well. Because, some nights you don't want to cook in your hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a little bit of planning. We also bake muffins and, veggie burgers and stuff, and freeze them and pack those with us, because you can take those on the airplane with you, put them in your suitcase, or you can, put them in a cooler in the car as well.
Here's some new information. Caddentrus kaleidoscope of books and stuff. Somebody with a longer YouTube name than us.
Wow.
Caddentrus kaleidoscope of books and stuff says show notes comes from the podcasting, but I like that better than when YouTubers call it the doobly-doo. You heard of doobly-doo?
No, I've never heard of doobly-doo.
So, okay.
That's interesting.
All right.
Huh.
Okay, doke.
So Chris says Tammy's talking about products, other recipes that were mentioned for the chickpeas, etc. on there. The recipes that I made today in the Amazon Live are only on the Amazon Live. So that's for the vegan Caesar dressing and the garlicky chickpea croutons. So both of these recipes I demonstrated on our Amazon Live show this afternoon, and I gave the recipes out on the live show.
Verbally.
Verbally.
So grab a pencil and paper.
Yeah, grab a pen and paper so you can write them down. And it'll be a couple of weeks before we can get the video shot and edited and get the recipes up.
Okay, so Alyssa is asking, in conversation with Jesse and Randy, now I want to know the difference between whole food plant-based and whole food plant exclusive.
Well, I guess the differentiation there is when you say you're whole food plant-based exclusive, that means you don't eat anything other than whole food plant-based. When some people say that they're whole food plant-based, they may still be eating some animal products, but they feel like they're whole food plant-based because when they sit down to eat their steak, they have asparagus or broccoli with it. And so
what do you think is that? Or is it like I eat whole food plant-based, everything that you come out of the kitchen here, but then I'll still eat a little bit of sourdough bread on the side that's vegan, but there's processed flours in there. It's not necessarily, it's still plant-based, but it's not necessarily whole food at that
but
point.
I think like the Engine 2 people, I think they still consider themselves to be whole food plant-based because they
So
don't
processing doesn't make a distinction.
They don't eat any, well, they're not eating junk food necessarily, but I don't know. It's semantics, I guess.
Okay.
So,
Okay. All right. Well, we need to say goodbye.
we need to say goodbye, you guys. It's late. We're tired. We're hungry.
The sun's going down.
Well,
It's way down on the East Coast, I'm sure.
yes. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. This was really fun.
Yeah.
And we learned some new things about JOI. So that was really awesome.
New things to come.
Right. And Drina, it was fun having you join us today as well. And I know a lot of our subscribers bought your book on Amazon when you were on with us and have been enjoying making the recipes as well. So thank you for your contribution to the plant-based world. And thank you everybody for watching. And Randy, Tiffany, and Jesse, we thank you so much for moderating. Aren't they amazing, you guys? They do such a good job in the comment section and answering everybody's questions I think they know more about plant-based than we do. They should be the ones behind the camera or
Yeah.
in front of the camera, I should say.
Tiffany's looking forward to the cookbook from Nutmeg Notebook.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, well, I don't see that in the near future. Do you?
We got to get those little ones just a little bit further down the road.
Yes. Yeah. The grandkids take up a lot of our time right
I
now.
put together a little 12 recipe ebook for Tami to offer as a bonus for the women's retreat folks. So yeah, I made a book cover and then I added 12 recipes to it.
You did?
It's not quite a book.
No.
It's more of a pamphlet.
It's a pamphlet. I would say it's a pamphlet, but hey, that's okay.
Yeah. So we're sending that off to Holistic Holiday at Home to add to their bonus bundle for folks that are getting involved with the women's
Retreat.
Yeah.
Virtual retreat.
Virtual retreat.
Yeah. So that'll be
Okay.
fun as well.
All right. Yeah. If you haven't clicked like, you've got about 10 seconds to do so.
Yeah, please click like. That helps our ratings. I know the iPad doesn't update as quickly as the computer does, but on the iPad it says we only got 13.
It's 65.
Oh, we
Here
have
on-
65.
on
Well,
this.
that's better. That's more respectable.
Okay.
That's good. So yeah, give us a thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe, click on the bell, then you'll get notifications. Go to the blog, you guys, and subscribe so that you get on our email list, because we send out that weekly email letting you know what's going on and giving you reminders about deadlines for things. So do that as well. And I'm Tami,
And I'm Tom.
and we help you get healthy and stay healthy, one meal at a time.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.